Would I be the asshole if I don't let my aunt come to my child's birthday after her husband died? I, 35 female, am close with my mom, 68 female, and enjoy spending time with her and my dad, as do my husband and 3 kids, 6, 2, and 1. My mom has an older sister, Kathy, who she is close with as well. My family would see Kathy at holidays and probably 3-4 other times a year up until this year. In April, Kathy's husband died. Kathy had no children and lives alone. Since his death, my mom has pushed to include Kathy in almost every get-together. If my family drops by on a weekend, she calls Kathy, she invites us for dinner, she then tells us Kathy is coming, etc. She has also come over to our house with Kathy when we didn't invite Kathy to come. Kathy is there almost every time I see my parents for the last several months. Kathy is not terrible to be around. I know family can be most worse. Kathy does, however, tend to be very uptight. She does not have much of a sense of humor. She can be judgmental about things like my home when she stops by and tends to make passive-aggressive comments. She also seems annoyed by my kids who are pretty well behaved. I don't mind Kathy being at some events, and ultimately my mom can choose who is at her home. Plus I do understand my mom is trying to be there for a grieving woman, so I have not said anything. This month my daughter turns 3 and we are throwing her a family party at our home. My daughter is quite shy except around her people, so we are keeping it small with just the 2 sets of grandparents, her 2 aunts and uncle, and her 3 cousins. My mom called me yesterday to ask if we could please include Kathy in the party as she will feel left out and she, according to my mom, adores my daughter. I said I felt weird doing this as no other extended family was invited and I didn't want to set up for bad feelings. My mom said okay. However, today she sent a long text saying how she was feeling so bad about Kathy not coming as she knows she'll feel sad and that Kathy would not tell others that she is there so likely no one else would feel badly. She added that Kathy is struggling so much with the loss of her husband and having events and family around is so important. She is probably correct that other family won't know, and I'm aware many people would be just fine not attending a 3-year birthday. I know grief is hard and at the same time, I just don't want her there. Would I be the asshole if I don't let Kathy come? The child is 3, the party is for the child. Not for Kathy. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Mom is including Kathy in many events. This is a kind gesture. Mom is pressuring you to make sure that Kathy is included in all events. This is unnecessary, and sets a bad precedent. No harm will be done by keeping this one party small and Kathy less. YWNBTA. You know using guilt is a classic manipulation tactic and you're falling for it? You've already given your decision. No means no. You can say, Mom, don't be ridiculous. Kathy makes passive-aggressive remarks criticizing my house and my kids. I let her visit often enough. She is not going to be given the opportunity to criticize my daughter on her birthday. If you wanted her at birthdays, you should have told her to stop criticizing me. And don't bother claiming this isn't true. I know it is, and you know I know it, so, just, don't. Not the asshole. It's not like you're excluding her from something huge and it does not seem like she would enjoy it, and plus it's your choice. Not the asshole. It's great that your mom wants to support her sister. But that doesn't mean you have to invite her to things. If it were a big family event, I get it, but since it's just the birthday girl's grandparents and aunts and uncles, it feels weird to also invite the great aunt who is annoyed by your kids and makes weird comments about your home. IDK, it just doesn't seem like a great fit. Again, your mom is free to invite her sister to her own events. Although I personally like to know who's coming before I confirm. This is not her event, and while asking was fine, laying on the guilt trip is not. Am I the asshole for admitting that I don't trust my mom? Background info is needed for this to be understandable. When I was a kid, I think I was 11 or 12 at the time, my parents rarely got into fights, and when they did they were resolved within a few hours, except one time. I don't know what they were arguing about, but at some point my older sister, I am the second oldest child out of 4 total, came into my room and told me our mom was leaving and I need to convince her not to. I don't think I need to explain that for a kid, being told your mom is leaving out of nowhere causes some panic. I probably stood by her for 20 minutes crying and begging her to stay while she packed a bag and ignored my presence. Then she left. My dad went after her, but she left anyway. The next day she came back like nothing ever happened. No one ever talked about it. My dad and siblings acted like nothing happened, too. I was the only who didn't. I didn't talk to her for days. Ever since then that's been at the back of my mind, all the time. Anytime I spoke to her, that thought that she could and would just up and leave without there being anything I could do, was always there. So I entirely avoided negative conversations and argument. A lot of the time when she got mad at me for something I just said nothing because in my mind it was better than saying what she deemed the wrong thing and have her leave. Because of this I haven't been close with her. I can't talk to her like I would with my dad. Now the actual situation this came up in was that I borrowed her car for a few days and one morning it didn't turn on. I called my dad about it. Details aren't exactly relevant I think, but eventually she found out and got upset I called dad instead of her. Argument ensued, which went like they usually do, until she said, "You're my son and it's like you're constantly afraid to tell me anything," to which I just responded that I am. I told her that I'm always thinking about that day she left. She didn't say anything and just left. And now that I'm writing it out it sounds incredibly ironic. Now my siblings and dad are saying I'm in the wrong because I shouldn't have brought it up at all. I know my mom thinks I'm an asshole, I'm pretty sure she's always thought that though. Now I'm wagering if I should have just kept my mouth shut to keep the peace. Not the asshole. I'm assuming she never apologized or explained after she left that night. Without that, how could she expect you to get over it? She may be upset that you brought it up now, but if she's sensible at all, she should realize that you telling her did her a favor, since now she can try to make it up to you. I think you should have an open conversation with your mom. You have stewed with this thought that she'll up and go for years now and it significantly casted a shadow on your relationship. You are definitely not the op. I'm a bit suspicious of your family members on why they didn't want to talk about it. Unless you guys talk it out, this will always be a point of contention in your relationship with your mom. Not the asshole. Edit. Fixed typos. Not the asshole. Often what is forced to be unmentioned or undiscussed erodes trust. It's a big burden to make a child feel like they have the responsibility to keep their mother from running away from home. Talk to your family and ask them why they are so afraid to bring it up. Not the asshole, she needs to learn her actions affect you. She should have at least talked about it to you after the incident, because everything about that situation is awful. I'm sorry you've had to deal with that op. Nah, this might not be a popular take. You are not wrong for your feelings. Your mom has feelings too. What happened to make her pack up and leave for a day? Obviously you parents fought over something and it was a big deal for your mom. I think you need to find out what happened between them. It's probably a big deal and may change how you view her leaving. Not the asshole. I don't understand why no one is allowed to talk about that moment. It was a moment that imprinted on you, and I guarantee it will impact all relationships as you get older. Please consider therapy. You should talk with her and your dad together. This is a moment that has stayed with you for a while, since we don't know how old you are now, and it's best if there is a chance for it to be resolved. Good luck. Am I the asshole for getting more souvenirs for one nephew than the other? I have two nephews, John, 15, and Thomas, 12. Recently, I went on a trip to the US. It's my first trip to America. I asked them if they wanted anything and the boys both wanted autographed stuff. Thomas wanted a signed basketball and jersey from his favorite team, while John requested 4 autographed novels by his favorite author. They both did some research and gave me the store names. I managed to get all the requested items. My sister, though, said I should have gotten Thomas a couple of other gifts since it isn't good for him to see his brother get twice as many gifts. I told her I got what they wanted but she said it would have been thoughtful of me to find additional souvenirs. Not the asshole. I managed to get all the requested items. Awesome, you took time out of your vacation to make your nibblings happy. My sister, though, said I should have gotten Thomas a couple of other gifts since it isn't good for him to see his brother get twice as many gifts. I told her I got what they wanted but she said it would have been thoughtful of me to find additional souvenirs. You got the kids what they wanted and had asked for. Your sis needs to butt out cause life isn't always fair, or even. Did the kids say anything about differences in gifts? You're a great uncle and these are amazing gifts. Yes, it's good to make sure you don't shower one nephew and neglect the other, but I don't think this happened here. Jerseys and books are not directly comparable, and I see no reason for either nephew to feel shortchanged. You're not the asshole. If all 4 novels had come in a single physical case as a set, would she be moaning about John's lack of love? Kindergarten logic. Not the asshole. Bet the sports stuff was more expensive than the author's stuff too. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You asked what they wanted and delivered exactly that. If Thomas wanted more items, he should have pulled a Santa letter on you and written a longer wish list. It's the thought and effort that counts, right? Maybe remind your sister it's about the value and personal meaning of the gifts, not just the quantity. Plus, a signed basketball and jersey? That's some serious cool aunt, uncle energy right there. Keep doing you. Basketball. Completely not the asshole. And why is the mom making an issue when it appears both kids are not? You're a very kind and generous person to have even asked for specifics and even went through the trouble of getting all the requested items. These are not toddlers who have to count every present to make sure it's even. Your sister is a bit of a drama queen causing this issue in the first place. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my BF's brother stay with us after we get married? My 24F boyfriend, 25M, and I have been together for 4 years, planning to marry in 2-3 YRS. His family lives overseas, and he's been independent since a young age. Future plans have been coming up, including his wish for his bro, 15 male, to move here in 2-3 years, finish high school, and attend college while living with him. We currently live separately and decided not to move in until marriage. Our relationship has generally been respectful and communicative, though the last year has been rocky, primarily due to family-related issues. My issue is if we are planning to get married in 2-3 years and his bro comes to live with him, then that would mean that our married life would start off with 3 people in the family. I have told him that if his bro is coming here to finish HS and not an adult yet, then he can stay with us. While this would make me somewhat uncomfortable to start my marriage in a house with my husband and his bro, I understand that his teenage bro would not be able to live by himself. However, my boyfriend is persistent on having his bro stay with him, even after he starts college and finishes college. To give a bit of context, I have spent time with his family to get to know them. His bro looks up to my boyfriend a lot, has love and respect for him, and would do almost anything that my boyfriend tells him to do. However, his attitude towards me is not the same. He often is very disrespectful towards me, calls me names, jokingly, or even treats me like I am not better than anyone in his family. Their family laughs it off, saying that he is just being a teenager. Like I mentioned earlier, while I don't have siblings, my cousins are the closest to me and some are around the same age as my BF's bro. They have never been rude to my BF. If there was a time where they have, I have made it clear that it was not okay. Therefore, I expect the same respect from my BF. I suggested that his bro can stay with us until he is 18. However, after his bro turns 18, he would have to move out. This would be when he goes to college after HS. Furthermore, if my boyfriend is worried about his bro, we can have him live next door, as long as it is not under the same roof, and I get my privacy in my own home. However, my boyfriend did not like this idea. We had a lot of arguments about this and my boyfriend would not budge from this decision. At this point, I have told him that if after we get married, I cannot spend private time with my husband, then I would not be okay with continuing this relationship. My boyfriend accused me of trying to keep his family away from him. He went as far to tell me that because I am an only child, I never understood the value of family. I am just upset, feel disrespected, hurt and heartbroken. I have thought about this for a while, and I have decided that if my boyfriend and I are not on the same page about this, it would be best to break up and go our separate ways. To this, my boyfriend accused me of giving him an ultimatum. If you back down, I promise you that your hubby is gonna railroad you with his little bro and who knows who and what else in the years down the road. This is a hill to die on. Not the asshole. Even without the brother's attitude towards you, it's reasonable for you to want to have some privacy when you are newlyweds. Add to this the brother's lack of respect, and you pretty much have an airtight case. The whole, he's just being a teenager, or calling it, jokes, is a sign that the whole family has a level of disrespect towards you. Otherwise they would require that he treat you respectfully. In the end, having someone live in your home, even a family member, is a 2 yes, 1 no kind of thing. Either one of you have a veto in this decision because it has such a big impact on your life. And you have made a huge compromise by saying that he can stay until he is 18. The fact that your fiancé is not willing to compromise in any way is not a good sign for the future. You absolutely should go your separate ways. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You even offered a few compromises, but no, you don't have to be comfortable with people staying with you if you don't want. Family is family, but your home is your home. Not the asshole. I believe your compromises were fair. Your boyfriend is only making things worse at each step of the way. Giving him an ultimatum is what you're doing, but it's completely fair. You have set your boundary and it is his decision. Not the asshole. Go your separate ways. For him to even go there shows his colors. Him allowing the disrespect from his younger sibling was always a problem. It's not a teen thing. Dude is a jerk or probably sees you as an obstacle. Him living you guys with the attitude, nope.